Hello there, this is GALAKTOS, and today, in this video I'm going to show you what I call instant wireless wire. So let's get started. As you can see, it operates with sponges, so let's tell me something about sponges first. You can skip that if you want, I will put up an annotation. So the sponge was added in a very early stage of Minecraft development by Notch, and at this time Notch was experimenting with how he would make water. The current water system, you may have accepted it as it is with its flaws, but if you think about it, it has its quirk. A single bucket of water can flood an entire landscape if it's placed high enough. And on the other side you don't have any water pressure. If I have here this waterfall, I can stop it. I could stop it even easier, just like this. And of course that's highly unlogical. You wouldn't find something like that in the real world. And Notch didn't like this idea at first, so he experimented with the water design, how he would make it, and at some point he had a system where water would aggressively spread, and it would spread so aggressively that it was really performance heavy, and it would spread only once every few seconds. And at that time there was no distinction between source blocks and other water blocks. You see, if I place water here, I can place a block here and move it, and the water will instantly regenerate. But if I place a block here, this will remove the source block, and then all the water will be removed. And this distinction between water source blocks and other water blocks was not there at the time. So if the water had spread into a valley or into a cave, and it had a large tendency to do so, you would have to remove it by hand, and you can't remove water, you can't break the water block, and so you would have to place a block where the water was, and here the water now vanishes, but at that time you would have to fill each and every single block by hand. To clear a cave you would have to fill it up first, and this was very, very annoying, and Notch realized that he had kind of broken this, so he introduced a sponge block, and placing a sponge block here would stop any water from entering this. Yeah, basically a 5 by 5 by not there. A 5 by 5 by 5 cube around the sponge, and with this you could easily clean up spill up. So one block more down here and two up here. This was the range in which the sponge would remove water, and it was only thought as a quick fix for this water until the water would have been fixed. But yeah, he didn't remove the sponge block later, because Minecraft has a tendency to crash if it sees an unknown block type in a world. That's a problem if you start a modded world, a world in which you played with mods in vanilla Minecraft. Then Minecraft may crash because it encounters unknown block types, and so Notch just left the sponge in, but he removed the functionality of it, so now it's just a normal block. I can place a source block here and the sponge will basically do nothing, but it's still a block in the game. And this was kind of a curiosity, a historical relic, until creative mode was added, because in creative mode it is possible to obtain sponges legally for the first time since before the actual introduction of survival mode. So yeah, the sponge is here, and you can do some funny things with it, because as I read on the Minecraft wiki, the water removal code of the sponge is actually not fully removed. The sponge does not remove the water blocks, but apparently it still checks for water blocks in the 5x5x5 area around it, and this allows for this neat little contraption which I call I can't walk left again. Oh. The left button doesn't work. I'm sorry. Let me just relog in. Let's try. Oh, this takes long because Fraps is running. So, yeah, basically you can, if you are familiar with Cephlings and TerraRider's Instant Wire, you know that they operate based on instant block update detectors and the ability of pistons to retract instantly and causing block updates. And when I read that in the Minecraft wiki that when I read in the Minecraft wiki that a sponge causes a block update in a 5x5x5 cube around it, I thought you could use it for that. And yeah, what I made of this is this. I call it instant wireless wire. It's a silly name because it's obviously not wireless, and wireless wire is stupid anyway, so if any one of you can come up with a better name, you are very much welcome. But until now I'm just going to show you. I have this little clock here that I just broke by relogging. So if I flick this switch, this piston will start expanding and retracting, and curiously on expanding the sponge doesn't cause a block update, but when I retract it, it does cause a block update, and this block update reaches this piston, and then the signal goes instantly up to here, where the exact same thing happens, and so on and so on. So let's just flick the switch. And as you see, this node block is powered directly by the clock, and this one is powered by this nice long chain of instant and partially wireless repeaters. God, it's cold in here. And as you see, the nodes, they ascend in the same time and they sound synchronously. Yeah, so this works. And this was my first design with these long lines. Of course that's stupid, that's not wireless, so I compacted it, and yeah, you see the result here. And if I switch this flick this other switch now. Oh, you hear a nice chord. Yeah, so basically, yeah, I guess you can figure out how it works. It's just a very, very simple block update detector. Let me just deactivate it. Yeah, as you see, the piston right now is in an invalid state. It's powered nowhere, but it's not updated. But as soon as the piston will be updated, receives a block update by this sponge, it will retract, which will break this connection. There's a torch under here. This will break this connection and unpower this line and power this line, and this will not yet update the actually it will. The piston will expand again, and while it's still expanding, this line will already go off. So when the piston is fully expanded, it's already in an invalid state, but it doesn't notice. And only on the next block update, the whole cycle repeats. And this happens here everywhere. And I have put nice holes in the ground just to prove that it's actually wireless. And to really, really prove you that there's nothing between anything of this, I could run a wire here. I have just rebuilt it in the air. WorldEdit can be helpful, but I had to rebuild. The clock is broken. Now that was stupid. There. Okay. So there is really no connection between this. It's instant and partially wireless wire. And now think of all the uses for it. I don't think there are actually that much uses for it. If you look at that, you might think of parkour cursors that are often located in mid-air. So I could imagine a thing like the player is having on a pressure plate, and the signal has to travel along with the player, but you of course don't want him to just walk here on the signal line. You don't want him to be able to walk here, so you use this instant thingy here, and you can build up a wall here just as large as you want, and that the player can't get across, and you can still get a signal across. I think things like this would be the main use for it. Who am I kidding? This is a proof of concept and nothing more. It's a concept, not a contraption. But I like it, and yeah, well, that's about it.